as we got Timmy coming out of the pit lane to overtake on George Russell to battle for a podium. But with his slip away by Paul Allen overtake on Will Russell chase back at Timmy.
Welcome along, everybody, to a venue that was built for speed. Once an airfield, now one of the finest racetracks in the world. It's qualifying day here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix.
Here we are, the Silverstone baby, and we are now heading to the quarterfinal. And I want to quickly mention this video again quickly. Happy New Year to you guys, and let's have a fantastic 2026. And I appreciate you guys for supporting the channel and the video. Whether you watch my video, like and subscribe, all of those means a lot to me from you guys, and of course let's continue pushing forward for a fantastic year in 2026. But in Q1, which is not the line, only take 11th, but look, that was the 13th second one I did not go well. But the bottom is it. Gasling is out in P16, surprising active for Pierre Gasly in Ferrari, and now in Q2 Section 1 we are currently 13th with Alex Albon 14th, but out the final corner to not the line, the team penalty is suspended and it's going to be 9th. We jumped from 13th to 9th, we made it though with both McLaren are out in 2-2. Lando Norris and Otto Piastri are out in 2-2 with Alex Albon behind them. It could be setting up for a very big opportunity for the point scoring for this weekend, especially for Russell and Charles Leclerc, as them both are hunting down Lando Norris for the World Championship, the same as Otto Piastri, also hunted down Lando Norris, and Otto Piastri obviously is a lot closer than George Russell and Charles Leclerc. But we're now getting towards the final quarter right now, and we now doing the line, we go 7th, we went 7th, but now put a new tyre on. We are using the late stop tyre, the brand new one that's supposed to be new for Sunday. Put it in, dap it up, and hopefully we can somehow, by a miracle, get a pole position. We've got a purple sector 1, sector 2, personal best, not the best one. Hopefully it's still okay. We are well above one sector, so that's good. We can see improvement, big one for sure. So let's find out where we going to qualify with not the line. Second place, baby. That is what we need. But look at Charles Leclerc, 5 tenths ahead of Russell on the pole position. Russell second place, but that Hadjar in third place. Let's see what Silverstone Grand Prix got in store for us.
Welcome, everyone, as you join us at a former Second World War aircraft base, now converted into one of the great motor racing tracks. Britain is one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every year of the Formula One World Championship, and long may that continue. This is Silverstone, and this is the British Grand Prix. With good opportunities to overtake at the end of the Wellington and Hangar Straights, there's a lot of potential for close action around the 3.6 miles of Silverstone circuit. With 18 corners and average lap speeds of around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the longest and quickest circuits on the calendar. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hadjar, Sonoda, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and Aaron, Ocon, Doohan, Tramnitz, and Lando Norris, Piastri, Albon, Gabriel Bortoletto and Lawson, Gasly, Behrman, Carlos Sainz and Zayn Maloney, Hulkenberg, Colapinto, Pepe Marti and Jack Crawford rounds off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway.
Here we are this Sunday, finally rested upon with short, not so lined up behind Charles Leclerc, second place, and Charles on the pole position. We obviously are going to be doing one-stop slashing. I think that's the best one to do, and you can see the setup. You are welcome to use it, and invited that the setup I adjust to my old property using the help from simulation setup. Forgot the name of it. I'll probably put the link in the description for you guys. But with the formation lab, we certainly need to get a fantastic start. If I can beat Charles Leclerc down to turn one, we can very much try and defend with everything we got to secure a win. So that'll be a big help for the Driver Championship, especially we have both McLaren out of the point for now. They are coming back in 100%, but we are now waiting for the 5 red light, and it now underway for the Silverstone Grand Prix, and it's a fantastic start from George Russell. He pulled up alongside to the jet. You know he does not. Charles Leclerc still managed to get a quicker start than George Russell, with the very close, and Russell just went deep into the corner, made the contact with Hadjar, but Russell remained ahead of Hadjar, almost tired of shoving him up the corner. But all is good, and we got Newton to line up. You having the pressure from Timmy at the yellow. We can see Esteban Ocon on poor Aldo, and behind is the Piastri already making good progress to try and get Jack Dillon, who's already overtook Esteban Ocon, as he lost a bit of time to pull Aldo and Dillon. Now into P7 with Ocon dropping back into P8 with the Piastri in P9 and Lando Norris in P10 with Alex Albon in P11. Hopefully Alex Albon to be ahead of both McLaren, so that way the Construction Championship to be more tilted to our favour, despite being miles away, about over 100 points, but it'll be a big help for the Driver Championship for Russell, of course. But on board with Newton Tonona, who is not doing bad starts so far, obviously chasing after former Red Bull Academy at the Hadjar, who's of course doing pretty well in the Williams, maybe on the track for the podium. And if you look at his teammate Colapinto, who's all the way down into P20, unfortunately, and behind UT is at the yellow. We got Aaron in P6, Jack Dillon P7, Ocon P8, still, and same with McLaren 9 and 10. But we far forward to Old Hannah Slate. We now got Newton Tonona. It making a move on either Hadjar to move up into third place, but the problem we now don't be dealing with, especially for George Russell, is that Ferrari engine doesn't have enough oomph in power compared to Charles Leclerc in Mercedes. And I think for a moment Paul Albon had a snap of oversteer coming out of the corner, which is not going to help him out. I think now to get more pressure from Jack Dillon, but he's still attaching to Timmy at the yellow, so I get Paul Albon is still fine, but he just needs to make sure he's locked in, because the last two non-plan Canada and Austria, which you can see both have doing pretty well, and using Tonona, it made a move on Russell, but Russell defended well there, so good job as he heading into Lovefield, coming out of it now. But yeah, to speak of the hard situation, they had chanted for the podium and top 5 to fail to achieve it. Can they do it in this way? And using Tonona out of the corps, just overtaken. Sure, not a fantastic overtake from Newton to Nona, which means Russell now for them back into third place, and Newton to Nona has taken the second place. And in the midst of the fight, Charles Leclerc has run away with 3 second gap, and that is going to be very annoying as George looks to try to get out the outside. Didn't work. He had to do a Spider-Man trying to make a move, get ahead of Newton to Nona, because of course the more points we can gather in this race is a lot effective in the long run against McLaren, because obviously we are close to summer break and we want to have more points collected, more than McLaren, so we can show that we've got a better chance of winning the world champion. But right now we can see loads of things are happening. Poor Aldon ahead of Adriani, down around there. Bortonacto making a move on Tim Chapman, who had a good run plan last weekend in Austria. But he's not having a good one right now. And speaking of not having a good one, Ferrari are down in 14th and 15th. That is a little bit concerning because we are using Ferrari engine, and what are the reasons that they are struggling right now? That is obviously one of the big concerns, because we cannot win the World Championship this season or actually be competitive and be close to winning it all. We have to think about a different option next season, but Carlos had made the contact as well with Tim Chapman on the outside now of the left field, while Daphne is watching everything unfolding before his very eyes. He is now to be starting making a move as well to try to get ahead of Tim Chapman. Of course, the hat no longer using the Ferrari engine. They actually using Toyota to actually supply the engine into the hat this season, and now going forward they'll be doing that more permanent. But we already got the handles like Aldon. It's now making a move on the inside of either hat jar. It's going to move up into people, but it's side by side what is going to happen, and Aldon has a small lock up due to the last. It prevented him to control the tyre and the braking, but it didn't matter. Out the final corner, Aldon goes slow to overtake either hat jar. Fantastic job from poor Aldon. I am impressed to see the hat are doing very well this season. I didn't think that was going to happen, but it had a big jump in performance we had brought up last weekend in the last episode in Austria. They had the big jump, and same with Canada. So clearly the hat had found something to make it work for themselves, and Charles Leclerc in lap 8 on the Hannah Slate once again, leading in a very comfortable position. Newton to Nona is also running away from Russell, which shows that the Red Bull powertrain and Mercedes engine are way better than Ferrari, and that is stuck because we want to try and win it all, being a different engine supplier, thinking that will work out, but so far it hasn't yet, and that was just made to move on track, man. So yeah, we know the Ferrari is right now they are lacking pace. The same as Alex Albon, but right now they are in one big traffic of Diara, going from where either hat jar is all the way down to where Ollie Behrman is down P17. That is how big it is, and Russell obviously wants to try and make sure he doesn't get involved in that kind of terrain. And Esteban Ocon just went for the move on Jack Jimon going on the outside of Love's field, while the Piazza is watching and hoping to pounce at the right time. And we got the live timing with the battle going on into the top with Aldon. With either hat jar and Hadjar managed to stay ahead, and Aldon couldn't do anything. And Piatti, for a moment, went for the move on Dubon, but he gave the place back because he actually forced him off, which we would have seen in the moment. He forced him off by a bad move from the Piatti, but it doesn't matter. He coming back at Dubon, and Lando Norris follow to move up into P8 and 9 and Jack G1 up into P10. Hopefully, Alex Albon will be getting involved and start making a himself into the point top 10 is what we need from Albon. But it'll be a way better if Albon to be close to Russell, so that way we can bring more points. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be the case at the moment. He is doing really well. I can see that, but I need him to be on the same level as George Russell when it comes to construction championship. And now we've got Albon and Hadjar. Since 2015, we got more banter behind with Alex Albon just overtaking G1 the same as Gabby Borton at don't be side by side and the same situation that has happened to Albon happened to G1. Looks like that the smart move but very dangerous, but if he messed it up, he will spin and clash straight into your underbody side pod chatty to destroy it all if he made a mistake. But you're very lucky that was not the case. But we're still on board with McLaren, who was tired of not doing bad, making a slow progress. But if they want to make sure to basically do some damage limitation and get to Russell for the Driver Championship to basically get close enough to make it harder for Russell and get Charles Leclerc. But Charles is doing a fantastic job and the Piastri on all time of slide just got ahead and overtaken Esteban Ocon and Borton Ocon has just overtook Alex Albon, and that is not good. And we can see there's some movement going on in Russell situation, which means he is now pitting. He came in into lap 12 for new tyres, which should be coming in next lap, but we decided to come in this lap, hoping the undercut tyres of work on Newton Sonona, but the priority is over top on the top behind with the poor Albon, and it's a slow stop. For sure, not sure that it's going to be bad, and we now got Jack Crawford, who should be getting ahead of George Russell. And let's find out what is going to happen as they don't know. The turn on Russell is already coming out anyway, and it's going to be coming behind him. But how close will it be? It looks like it's within the DR distance, and we're looking ahead of the cat yellow, P17 and 18 for Lawton and Manoni. P16 for Trackman, who is now rushing Franco Tolopito, thought to be making an attempt and overtake on Behrman, but he backed down. And now the racing tyres of Quali since Oliver Behrman was involved in that massive strain, but now that's slowing down, started spacing out quite a bit. But the unfortunate thing is, Jack Crawford managed to overtake George Russell and he was on a soft tyre. So I can't argue with that, and George Russell was obviously on the colder tyre, but somehow Crawford made it work. But Russell rematched and better come back and get ahead of Jack Crawford, sending a message that you should have never done what you did. But will that cost George Russell time? We'll find out as Albon didn't come in yet, but you know, coming up in the order, just 2 times of hoping that he will pull away and make the advantage and get in quickly, and hoping he will move up in places near the pit stop. But we can see the Piastri obviously came in. We had Hadjar, Paul Albon, and we're now coming out just ahead of Paul Albon. We were behind, but managed to slip through and get ahead of Paul Albon. That's how close it was for George Russell to lose a play. For Paul Albon. But if that's how close it is, how close will it be with Kimi Atayella, Esteban Ocon, Lando Norris, Albon, Gasly, but they are very unlikely. It's more likely to be Atayella. I think the Atayella situation could be very close with George Russell. We'll find out. But in ahead of us, in a Hannah Slay, we now got Lando Norris making a move on Esteban Ocon to get them to go into the pit. Interesting. Thought we'd just stay out, but I mean, to be fair, I thought his pace Silver and Trackman just over to Franco Tolopito. We now have at the end in. You team Toronto just finished his pit stop and Lando Norris. Seems like no issue so far. Alex Albon is also in the pit and Charles Leclerc is doing retake the lead back and it's going to start running it away for sure. You team Toronto to come out second. Albon, any problem? No. Seems or just coming out P6 for now, but that all will change at Russell. It now goes with the P4 behind at the LA. Seems like the overtime didn't work as at the LA managed to make more of the overtime, on George Russell. He at the LA somehow got the better pay, but Russell can still come back to her of at the LA at the door. Now the outside into the left field, can he get me? Yes, he does. He went a little bit deep, but he made it work. And the main ahead of at the LA moving back into P3, but it does seem like the fight will be very close as they now join side by side, coming up to the top. Pretend Russell the main ahead, yes he does. Russell stays ahead of at the LA, but the fight will continue. The fight will rage on as Albon to start getting involved, and now we put Russell in a difficult situation to try to defend multiple times, and now at the LA has gone back to Russell and now into podium spot, and Russell looked back into people and behind it got Jack Torford, who will be stopping again, but he is pretty much doing two stops. That stop time is not lasting him for a long time, so he'll be coming in as Ultron just gone ahead of Jack Torford, and now other had John, who was supposed to be ahead of Esteban Ocon, managed to leave the place to Ocon and Piastri, and Lando pretty much returned back to the same spot. But don't forget, one Torford goes in, Piastri and Lando move up to P8 and not where they were before Russell ended up coming in, so that's fine I guess. But it's good to see McLaren not making a point that they're happy about that, but unfortunately, the Alex Albon, we now got Gasly, has just gone ahead, amazing move on Alex Albon. Can Albon defense? Seems like he does not, and to be aware, Albon has got a new component on the engine, by the way, so he should be having more power. But it seems like there's just not at the moment for Alex Albon, and we've got Carlos side. Of course putting the pressure on Bortonetto, and we've got McLaren, who pretty much have to try and find the gap. And George wants to find the gap, and he goes down the inside to overtake Antiani, but he's side by side, and Antiani trying to do what Bortonetto did to one of his rivals to force him off, but George Russell held it now and told Antiani that it's not happening at the Grand Prix. And Antiani now to try again to get back ahead of George Russell. And I mean, look at poor Albon, P5. He is coming for the podium. I can smell it, but in lap 16, Hannah Slate once again. Charles at the yellow side, Timmy at the yellow. It now made a move on Russell and Paul Albon also trying to follow the pretending make it work. No, they don't not. Paul Albon didn't make it work, and Russell managed to fend off Albon, but couldn't do it. So Timmy at the yellow, and now we can see Jack Torford moving up and down, which means he's now coming in into the pit to put a new tyre on. But to be fair, he's doing not too bad, but unfortunately he might be employed unless some lucky thing going to happen for Jack Torford, and we've got the Piastri going for the move, he sends it down the inside, and now on the outside, on the left field, can he get ahead of either hat jar? That with a fantastic dive down the inside. Brilliant work from what the Piastri now up into P7, and Lando Norris is now to do the same thing, but will up the Piastri help Lando or not? Don't forget, they are fighting for the World Championship, so it's going to be the battle between both of these guys while trying to maximise what they can, so they are nowhere near Russell and Charles Leclerc, they are the major competitor for this Driver Championship, and unfortunately Daphne has overtook Albon. The fight is still going for Albon, dropping back down to P13. It's a bit of a buddy situation to deal with for Alex Albon compared to Russell, who's doing a fantastic job. But now Ocon is now to the overtaken by Otto Piastri is unfortunate, and Lando Norris is still behind that job. The Otto Piastri made a move up 2 places, and now Lando hadn't followed. So Lando Norris needs to be able to follow through, and basically preventing Otto Piastri have more points over Lando Norris in the Drivers' Championship, because like I mentioned early on, damage limitation is what Lando needs to do right now for his home run plan. But lap 21, Hannah Slade at the barn, old time coming back through, but Otto Piastri is going to be on the inside, try to defend, but Ocon had a fantastic exit that managed to stay ahead, and more of their fight is helping Albon to hope to secure the top 5 finish for the third time this season. Obviously, Albon had that third place, I believe, or second place in Canada a couple of years back in the Sauber at the time with Audi, wasn't it? So it's gonna be very interesting to see what Albon might be able to do, but it's too far back for sure. Russell and Timmy Attielli just got no chance. I like the Piastri back new ahead of Esteban Ocon and Daphne Albon. It's going back and forth very much. They are going back and forth. They're pretty much in their own fight for now, but they will be joining. So look how much rain. Look how much rain we're doing right now. It's just mad. But we can see Otto Piastri making whatever he can to get it to work, and it worked out for him. But as he moved up into P6, and he's actually getting onto poor Albon, so Otto Piastri took well to put himself into top 5, and that will be very impressive live from Otto Piastri. But what can Lando do? And you can see in the back, Lando Norris on the outside of Arthur Hadjar, Kenny Jetlu on Arthur Hadjar, or will he not? It seems like he didn't. That is unfortunate, and Alex Albon, yes it is. Alex Albon of Benedictine right in the back behind the side DHL. He is out. He is out of the Silverstone Grand Prix. He has mechanical failure, and that is a little bit concerning, because that can happen to George Russell. That's the reason why Russell couldn't get past Attielli. Is there any power left in that car, in that Ferrari engine? We need to find out at the end of the race when we get into the next episode at Belgium. We're going to find out if there's any problem with the car or not. But Russell is still taking off for Attielli, and he just seems to get past. Maybe I think it's the power issue, but Otto Piastri is catching poor Albon, and I think Albon might be saying bye-bye to the top 5. Unlike he can do some defending, but that McLaren is so quick, and they caught up, you know what I mean? They were quite like 2-3 seconds behind Albon, but now Piastri caught up, but the gap is actually starting forming into 3, because Piastri overtook Albon right now, with Esteban Ocon behind Albon, them, and now Lando Norris finally got ahead of Hadjar, but that's their path. So we've been having a broken section of path as the fight goes on. But now I'm assuming Lando Norris will finally catch up to Esteban Ocon and start forming more train again. But we are expecting Otto Piastri to run away anyway, and now George Russell still couldn't get past Attielli. 2 former teammates. Attielli knows how Russell drives. Russell knows how Attielli drives. But for whatever reason, we just can't get past. And that is so annoying. We love to finish on a podium at the home run front, and of course, big help for the Driver Championship. But at least we are multiple places ahead for Lando Norris. It's hard to play about that, but we're chatting now to top 2. Newton Tanola is actually slowly catching up to Charles Leclerc, by the way, but we are about almost 13 seconds right now, 12.7 seconds behind to Newton Tanola and the last time, and we can see Charles Leclerc has just begun the final lap at the Silverstone Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc, he's doing fantastic job. I have to the coming to Charles Leclerc. Well, winning in Canada, winning in Austria. If they going to win, the Silverstone sending a message out to all of the people in the world who never doubt Charles Leclerc. Let's find out, and we got Asiela doing a fantastic job holding back George Russell. It's hard for Russell to try to get through it now, just but time, which means just but measure. And will Russell be able to deal with that? We can see the Piastri is almost 5 seconds behind to Russell and Asiela. They are in their own world. Russell and Asiela in their own battle for having one of the fastest lives ever, because no one behind is actually catching up. So that is good that we can see Russell and Asiela do what they do best. But at the bar, no time, still got a chance to try and catch poor Albon and Lando Norris. Got the large chances as well. But Charles Leclerc on his way to achieve a hat trick. For all of the haters out there to believe in him, he wins the Silverstone Grand Prix with Newton Tanola finishing second, and Timmy Asiela is already knew that he's going to finish third, and Russell and Tar do nothing. Russell finishing fourth, and
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So sorry guys. Should have had that podium. So maybe this weekend.
that is unfortunate weekend, but fourth place and ahead of both McLaren, Carson place.
Charles Leclerc, what a drive, what a victory, he wins!
And they're just starting to make it look easy out there. Now a hat-trick of wins. They're out there ahead, they've got the momentum on their side, and it's for the others now to try and up their game to stop that energy that they have.
And once all the hard work is over, and after lap of brilliant racing, it's time now to celebrate with our podium trio. And that is a fabulous win, and the top step of the podium for Charles Leclerc.
Well done, Charles Leclerc, who cannot complain about that, but it's just annoying that Russell was having the better chance of getting podium, but Asiela nipped ahead of him, and we can't do nothing about it. But the championship is getting closer. 37 points behind Lando Norris for George Russell. That is really good. But in the construction championship, it's got 106 points. So it'll be a hard job. Try to catch McLaren in the construction championship, but it's not a championship. I like the thing, we got chances. I like the thing, we got that chance. We just need to be ahead of both McLaren every single day as much as we can. We've now got 7 races to go, and the next one is the Belgium Grand Prix, and I'll see you in the next episode. So thanks for watching, please like and dislike my video. Do what I appreciate it, and peace out.